like industrial perspective, like there's storage facilities. Even Jared was kind of like, isn't that the same as industrial? And the answer is no. It's a different approval once again, but it's really attractive at the moment. It seems a lot of people have a lot of stuff in built out locations. Like they can live in, say, like a smaller residence, say like a unit or a smaller house in a really strong location, either near the beach or near the city, but they still have things that they want to hold on to. And then storage facilities are obviously the great way to do that, where they can have like a reasonably low weekly expense to maintain what they cherish so much in possessions.
Great business to own.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, they
I haven't owned one, but from the outside looking in, I mean, it looks decent.
And the beautiful thing about commercial too is like the advancement of technology is really helping the passive side of it. So storage facilities, there's like applications and software systems that you can build in where it's touchless. You might have just one manager managing a whole entire complex because people can just have the touch keypads, put it all in. Obviously, I don't own a storage facility. Love to in the future because it seems quite passive in that front. But there's specialists, and this is going further through into it, is like no one knows everything, and there's specialists in each different area. So there's specialist buyer's agents in storage facilities, there's specialist buyer's agents in industrial. It's just making sure that you talk to the right people. So
we will talk to buyer's agents as well for these commercial properties, because just like in residential, we definitely push you to go, if you're investing, it's worth having a buyer's agent in residential. For commercial, it's that much more important because the amount of numbers, the locations, the due diligence that goes into buying a commercial deal needs to be far more thorough than, say, a residential deal, because there's typically far more at stake with the market conditions that can be more volatile, I guess, depending on where you purchase, than, say, residential, where people are always going to need somewhere to live. I have heard arguments on that, Sam, as well, around like, well, hang on a second, if people are always going to need to live and eat food and all that sort of stuff, then, commercial property is important because you need to make the raw materials in these warehouses. You need to produce the food in these different locations, and you need to have the retail shops like Coles and Woolworths and all that sort of stuff open. So there are arguments in so many different directions.
Yeah, and that's really good points. I would like to get sort of that flushed out during this series too, and I'd say the real due diligence comes into assessing the business that's renting it from you. So that de-risks it massively.
Absolutely.
And like that's why as commercial, they say you get more capital growth as a residential than you do commercial. I still am on that fence, but there are some really key ways that you can actually outperform markets in commercial by value adds or buying really well, because it is based off an income approach. So you can, it makes more sense from a dollars or numbers perspective, because you can, like a valuer comes in, to value the commercial properties, it's based on the net lettable area. If you can add net lettable area, then you can increase the value of that premises, because it's a multiple. So if you can add a mezzanine to an industrial, then you increase that net lettable area. People pay a higher rate for that, therefore the property value increases. It's pretty like 1 + 1 = 2. Whereas with residential, if you go, I'll add another bedroom to this whole entire house, it's like, well, that bedroom might cost you $100,000 to actually build that whole thing. Will that add $100,000 of value? Well, the market will decide that. And obviously you'd hope for that to happen, but I've valued a lot of residential properties where they did those extensions and they overcapitalised for that area, and it wasn't justified on a valuation basis. Where with the commercial side, we found that it was more simpler to 1 + 1 = 2.
Yeah, I think I've said this before as well, is like, if you're going to do renovations on a residential property, look at the market and see what the market wants, because the market will pay for it. And it's the same with your commercial. It's like, do your tenants want a mezzanine? Do they need more storage? Do they need another office area in the mezzanine? Like, you're finding that out for what the market wants, they'll end up paying for it, which ends up definitely boosting the valuation of your property.
Yeah, key thing going on that mezzanine and industrial side is a lot of those mezzanines are built, but they're not approved. And you shouldn't be paying full freight for an unapproved mezzanine. And I've seen even buyers agents actually buying property on a full freight rate because they haven't actually checked the approval it's gone through, which is scary. And I'll get one of my good mates to jump in. Jake is a senior commercial valuer, and he's seen some pretty scary stories, which is good to share. So, as I said, eyes wide open. And because it is hundreds of thousands, often millions of dollars that you're going through. So it's just good to understand these things before you, just blindly trust someone to do a job for you.